So I wanted Brother Fred to come in today because I just could think of no more. There's just not another better person out there that can set me straight on stuff. So
she's just trying to butter me up for the truth. Lord mercy.
Today I want to talk about truth be told.
Okay, so the truth be told.
Right.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
Okay, one thing people will immediately learn about me when they meet me is that I tell it like it is. I shoot you straight. If you ask me a question, I'm going to be honest with you and up front with you, and I don't sugarcoat it.
Right.
I'm very real.
Right.
So some people get very offended by that. They will call and ask my advice about something, and I'll shoot them straight.
Right.
And then they'll be mad because I'm telling them what they need to hear versus what they want to hear. Okay?
Wow.
And so for me, I feel like the best thing I can do for my friends, for any human being, is just to be honest with them and to shoot them straight. I'm here to plant seeds, and if you come to me and you're asking me for advice and I see that, you know, you're struggling in an area and you're not understanding your struggle, you're making excuses for that struggle. I've been there. So I'm just teaching you from my own experience. And then they get upset with me because I shoot them straight. So what do you think about that? Because isn't that being a hypocrite?
Well, the truth of the matter is, truth be told, is that there are two sides to this coin, so to speak. You have, but let's go back. You have the scenario or the situation that is at hand. What do you think about this? Should I handle it this way? If you were in this situation, what would you do? Let's take it from there. Then the truth be told is, what do I do in relationships to the situation? Is it a truth that I give them, or do I appease them because I understand they're my friend? And so is it going to be the truth, or is it going to be a statement that's safe, that's not going to cause for no friction? And then if I say this, is it going to help that person, or is it going to hurt that person even more? And I think those are things we have to ask ourselves before we open our mouth.
That's true.
And answer that person.
Okay, so, and I've had that brought to me too.
Right.
And they say, well, you should treat, in the Bible it says you should treat others the way you want to be treated. But for me, the best way that I learned is for somebody to shoot me straight. If I had a boyfriend that was cheating on me, and he's cheating on me, and he's cheating on me, and I keep taking him back, and my girlfriend says to me, I don't know why you're mad at him, you should be mad at yourself. You knew he was a cheater the last 13 times you took him back.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so for me, I want for somebody to shoot me straight because it's a revelation to me. I'm like, I never thought of it that way. Why am I allowing someone to treat me this way?
And then the other thing is, Kerri, is a lot of times individuals are so caught up in their circumstance that they cannot see past their nose, or they cannot see a solution because they're so trapped or they're so involved in their circumstance. So truth does not become absolute. Truth is another opinion. And I think we have to really say, well, truth be told, and we give the truth because it has to be an absolute solution and not just an absolute statement.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And I agree. Because then we can make the determination that, are we going to really be honest and shoot straight? Because if we're not honest with individuals, and if you're not honest, that really you're basically lying.
See, I feel like if I'm sugarcoating it, I'm not being honest.
Right.
And we're not here to sugarcoat things.
Right.
We're here to be real with each other and we're supposed to hold each other as Christians accountable.
Right. And before we get off this, the second phase I like to talk about is then if we do talk about truth, how do we share that truth with the individual that's going through it? But let's go back with what you were saying. I agree that there are three things that we have to consider when we look at whether we're going to say the truth or tell the truth, if truth be told. I would say the first thing is we have to be honest with the person, because they're honest enough to give us the question or ask us of our opinion. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, if someone asks you, well, Brother Fred, what do you think about this? For them to take the time out of their schedule, whether it's busy or not, to ask me, what do I think about it? That is important.
They value your opinion.
Right.
Okay,
that's interesting.
So, you see what I'm saying?
But then I would have to say to the fellas on my part,
I can't
it's
wait
a
to hear
way
this.
to say that,
See, you're sugarcoating.
No.
Yeah. Go ahead. I know what he's gonna say.
No, I think you can be honest, but you don't have to be brutally honest.
Oh, you throw the word brutal in there.
Well, I mean, you don't have to be so hardcore truth. You can just say, hey, listen, they're a little tight, baby, or you're out there.
And then she's gonna come back. What you mean that little tight? You saying I'm getting fat?
Then you have to pray. Then you pray and say, baby, well, let's talk about this later. but back to the scenario. But you have to be honest because they took the time to be honest with you and share it. And for them that may be the most personal thing in the world to them, and they really need help.
Well, and I think also when you're asking somebody advice, if you're going to somebody, if I'm coming to you and I'm asking you for advice, I value your opinion.
Right.
So therefore, don't be offended when he says yes.
Right.
It does.
Right.
You're not asking him to sugarcoat it. You're asking him to be real with you.
Right. And the other thing too is before you answer the person or that individual with the truth, it's helpful to understand the person. Like for instance, if you ask me that same scenario, that same question, then I would say, well, let me ask a question before I answer this. Do you want me to be honest? You want me to be brutally honest? And give them the opportunity to think through. Again, you're asking me to ask this question.
That's important.
Now, before I ask this question, do you want me to give it to you straight? Do you want me? You want me to give it to you in a colorful way? You want me to just kind of sugarcoat it? However you want to term those words, so that they can be prepared, because you want to prepare them for what you have to say, especially if you're straight up like we are. Or it's like, well, you could have just said it differently, So you want to be able to be conscious of that and have a sense of sensitivity.
And a lot of times what I'll do with my friends, I get people calling me all the time for advice because they know I'll shoot them straight. But what I do say to them is, I may not be the best person for you to ask for that. So, are you sure you want me to answer that?
Right, exactly.
Give them the opportunity because sometimes they may be in a really sensitive mood and, I'm not going to customize my answer according to, what you want to hear. I'm going to be honest with you and tell you the truth. So, a lot of times will say, if I know that I have girlfriends that are really in the midst of a lot of stuff, I'll say, hey, I might not be the right person for you to ask. Do you want me to put you in touch with someone else? And I always give them Gaitha's phone number because bless Gaitha, she's sweet as she can be.
and there's different people that can deal with things.
Right.
So that's cool. The third thing I would say before you make your statement or before you decide to answer is to then ask them. When I answer this question, I want you to know I do it out of love, and I hope that you will receive it out of love. So you want to quantify, because a lot of times people they're so eager to hear the truth, or at least the truth from our perspective. So, like for instance, a lot of times when I'm working with my brothers, they're like, "Yo, man, Mr. Whitlow, Mr. Fred, I want to, just hit me straight." I say, "Okay, now before I give it to you straight, understand two things. I try and quantify. Now, I'm gonna give it to you practical. I give it to you practical. I'm gonna give it to you because I believe in Christ and I'm a Christian. I'm gonna give you from the perspective of Jesus Christ. Or do you want me to just give it to you straight, without a influence of religion or whatever? Because some people just are not believers.
Right.
And they say, just tell me as if you're not a Christian. And sometimes, no, you just tell me because I know you're good, man. And you quantify, so they can decide. But once they answer that, then well, I just need it because I know you love the Lord. I know you're going to tell me the truth. Okay. I know I can give it to you practical and I can give it to you from the perspective of Christ. Then you got other cats that just don't believe. They just wow it out. And they're like, man, listen, I don't hear that Jesus. I just want, if you was in this situation, what would you do? And then I'm like, okay, as a human being, and you're doing something wrong, this is what the law says. This is what you do.
Right.
Now, as a Christian, that's a no-no, bro. And they laugh, whatever.
Yeah. And
then that way it makes it easy, even though it's straight up.
Right. Well, my dad used to say, Kerri, I don't sugarcoat things for you because I love you and I don't want you to fail in life.
I love that.
And he says, it's not my job to be your friend or to go out of my way to do things to make you happy or so that you love me. It's my job to make sure that you can function in the world.
Right.
That's what he used to say. So I'm not going to sugarcoat it because the
Love that.
world isn't kind. He said when you're working every day and you're out in the world is not kind. He said nobody is going to take the time to sugarcoat things for you, and you need to be able to function in the world.
Yeah, and that's true.
And
Right.
it's
So
my
the
job
world
to
is
teach you that. So I get that from a lot of people. You know, a lot of people are either very intimidated because I'm such a straight shooter, and then there's the other side where people embrace it, and then there's that middle group that say, I know that if I need advice, she's the one that I need to call. I may not want to hang out with her 24 hours a day, but I know that if I want the truth, I'm going to get it from her.
And let me interject the other thing. Since you mentioned it, you brought up a really good point, and that is from the perspective of the person giving the truth, or for truth's sake, let me tell you, blah blah blah. The other two things I would suggest, and I apply this in my life, is number one, when before I open my mouth and answer the question or give them my version of whatever I believe, that I will say to them, I said, listen, this is what I perceive as true because of X, Y, and Z. I always quantify what I'm doing and why I do it. And then the second thing I'll do is I'll say, once I tell you what I tell you this, you don't have to like me, but you gotta love me. And if you don't love me, I'm gonna love you, even if you don't like what I'm saying. And then, to get that out up front, like what you're saying.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, like you said, the world is not kind. The enemy of our souls is always trying to destroy us and bring us down. And then they can see the validity.
I'm so glad that you came in today and we talked about this.
This has been great. This
Yeah.
is great. And it's needful because at the end of the day, the truth must be told and the truth be told.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying? Keep doing what you're doing, Kerri.
Yeah.
Coffee and Christ, always the bomb, I'm telling you.
Just be yourself. When you're addressing people, be yourself. But maybe, maybe you could say, are you sure you want to ask me that question? I think you gave great advice there, because you use the word brutal, but.
Yeah, because you're brutal. She's brutal. Fellas, listen to me. Listen to me. Don't be brutal. Just work that thing, man.
And ladies, if you ask your husband about your pants, take it for what they say.
Well, it's a blessing either way, really. Seriously, though.
We want to thank you for tuning in today, Coffee and Christ. We always have fun on this show and keeping it real with you. And send us your suggestions, share your thoughts with us. If you have a topic you want to discuss, please tell us. We would love to hear it. Want to give a big shout out to Dunkin' Donuts.
You already know the business, brother.
That's right. Go get
Appreciate
your Dunkin' Donuts coffee today. We love our Dunkin' Donuts.
The donuts, definitely. Get high in the right way.
We'll see you next time here on Coffee and Christ.